Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the World of Juice channel, and today we might have our most difficult rebuild challenge to date. I found myself another mod to utilize in my ever-growing cycle of rebuilding retro teams. And so today's mod is the 2017-2018 NFL season. So basically think of this as not Madden 24 anymore. It is now Madden 18 with the GOAT Tom Brady on the cover. One of my personal favorite NFL games that I played back when it came out, mainly because it's the game I have some good memories on. Not because necessarily it was a great game, but just because I have good memories on that game. So here we are. It is 2024, and we are modding Madden 24 to make it back to that era of NFL football, and specifically the worst team of all time, the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. That is right. This is the year the Cleveland Browns surpassed the 0-16 Lions by being just unbelievably god-awful and did not win a single game and went 0-16. Got the number one pick in the draft, drafted Baker Mayfield, and the rest is not so great history. We're going to change that. We've gone ourselves a different timeline. Here's the normal, the sacred timeline, as Marvel likes to call it, and we are going to just divert right off the sacred timeline over here into a new path. The 0-16 Cleveland Browns may still happen, mainly because I might want to just trade all of our old players just to get really, really bad. That may still happen. But something that didn't happen in real life and probably will never happen if we're being totally honest. We are going to take this 0-16 Cleveland Browns squad and we are going to bring them to the promised land, to the top of the mountain, and hold a Lombardi trophy at the end of this rebuild. I hope you guys are excited. If you are, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's rebuild the 0-16 Cleveland Browns. This is the roster we are working with for the 2017-2018 NFL season. The quarterback, the man under center, the guy that the Cleveland Browns thought was going to be the next generational quarterback was DeShone Kizer. I guess it could be DeShone Kizer. I never really knew how to pronounce it. I think it's DeShone Kizer. Who cares? He sucks. But he's a rookie. He has star development, and that means if you put him in the right scheme, he can turn out to be a pretty solid quarterback. So for year one, at least, we're going to have DeShone Kizer as our quarterback. Running backs, we've got Duke Johnson and Isaiah Crowell. Wide receivers, we've got Corey Coleman, who is star development, second year out of Baylor. And I really like Corey Coleman for his speed. Not much else. We'll see if he develops. Maybe he'll get lost in the shuffle. Who knows? There's a good possibility. We also have Josh Gordon, who is a little bit older at this point. 26 years old, only a 71 with normal development. The only way he ever factors into this team really is if he goes off in season one and he becomes a star. That's really the only way. Other than that, not a good offense. Cody Kessler is here as the backup. Fun fact, Cody Kessler had a insanely hot girlfriend that he dumped, I think. I don't think she dumped him. I think he dumped her. So, you're an idiot. Anyway, the offensive line is pretty good. I don't even think we'll have to change this offensive line except for maybe getting a new left tackle in Joe Thomas. I hope he stays for the entirety of the rebuild, but I don't know how long the rebuild's going to take. It could take 3 years, it could take 4 years, it could take 5 years. I have no idea. So I'm hoping that Joe Thomas stays around, but he might retire. So the only position that I'm confident we'll have to change, maybe center, is probably left tackle, because we have Joel Bitonio, who's 25, decently young. J.C. Treader is 75 overall, 26. with only normal, which does kind of suck. It kind of hinders his development, especially in Madden. And then Kevin Zeitler's 27. I'm sure there's going to be, obviously, we got like Quentin Nelson coming up in one of these drafts. He might even be this draft in 2018. I don't remember. But we've got some good offensive linemen that we could grab to help quicken the process. But right now, I like the offensive line that we have. Obviously, we have the rookie David Njoku, who we know in real life is a beast, but didn't really start off that way. Kind of took a little bit of time to develop into what he is now, but I do think he's going to be our franchise tight end for this rebuild. And then on defense, we got ourselves a whole cast of characters, don't we? Isn't it weird to see Myles Garrett with star development? He doesn't have superstar. The number 1 overall pick in the draft has star development. That just seems a little weird, doesn't it? Because we know what he turns into. Only a 75 overall. It is what it is. It's fine. I'm fine with it. Absolutely fine with it. We got Jabril Peppers. We've got other people on this team. Danny Shelton. Yeah, this team needs a lot of work. This team certainly needs a lot of work. But we've got the cornerstones. We've got David Njoku, and we've got Myles Garrett. And maybe Jabril Peppers. We've got 3 players on this team that are pretty much safe. Everybody else, depending on how they play this year, could be up for grabs. It's the Wild West. Anything can happen. But we need to load in the first draft class that we're going to be using. I need to find it. I see it down there, but I don't know if I added another one. I don't think I did. I did not. So we'll add that one right down there at the bottom. 2018 NFL Draft Class. You guys know the drill. It's Baker Mayfield. It's Saquon Barkley, Sam Donald, Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb. Now, what we're going to be doing in this one, obviously we're going to be looking at quarterbacks like Baker, like Josh Allen, like Lamar Jackson. There's a couple franchise quarterbacks in this draft class that we could certainly take a stab at. Running backs, we're going to be looking at Saquon Barkley. We're going to be looking at Nick Chubb. We're going to be looking at... is that it? Those are probably the only 2 guys we're going to be looking at. Maybe a Phillip Lindsay down the board. Wide receivers, Calvin Ridley, DJ Shark, Michael Gallup. Any of these guys would be an improvement of what we already have. So it wouldn't be that much of an improvement, but it would be an improvement. Anybody else? Probably not. There's a couple names, but nobody that's really going to pop out. Tight ends, we don't really need a starter, but we can look for a backup like a Dallas Goedert or a Mark Andrews or a Will Dissly. Those guys with certain, Dalton Schultz even, would be good backup tight ends to David Njoku. Left tackles, I mentioned, we probably are going to need to look for one. So a Mike McGlinchey or a Colton Miller. Colton Miller for sure could be an option. And then left guards, Wyatt Teller I like. Right guards, I skipped centers. Oops. I skipped a little bit of centers. Centers, we got Frank Ragnow, which would be pretty much, I would say, an improvement over J.C. Treader at the moment. I got to put Will Clapp on the list. I can't have a draft board without Will Clapp. Are you kidding me? Right guard, obviously, we're going to go for both of these guys, Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith. We could even turn Braden Smith into the right tackle that he is right now in real life. And then, speaking of right tackle, you got Brian O'Neill. You've got Orlando Brown Jr. That's probably it. Ooh, I saw Jordan Mailata down there. I forgot he was in this class. Jordan Mailata is also down there. Left ends, it's not a whole lot of anything really. Sam Hubbard, maybe. Arden Key, maybe. John Franklin Myers, maybe. Not a whole lot of enticing players. But then on the right side, you got Bradley Chubb, who I will put on there. We're probably not going to be in play for him, but I will put him on the list. And then D tackles, Vita Vea, Daron Payne, B.J. Hill, Maurice Hurst. Anybody else? No, not really. Outside linebackers, you got Roquan Smith, Darius Leonard, Shaquille Leonard, actually, Fred Warner, Jerome Baker. There's a couple outside linebackers. We're going to need an outside linebacker, that's for sure. We got Jamie Collins and Christian Kirksey as our outside linebackers right now, so we definitely are in need of outside linebackers. Middle linebackers, LVE, Leighton Vander Esch, Tremaine Edmonds would be huge. I'll even put Josie Jewell on there as a day 3 option. Anybody else? Probably not. Right outside linebackers, Rashawn Evans, Harold Landry, Chenna Nwosu, Juwan Bentley even would be awesome. And that's going to be it for them. Corners, I mean, I'm going to put the guys on here. Denzel Ward, Jair Alexander, Dante Jackson, Carlton Davis. Who else? There's got to be more guys. Teron Johnson. Is it Taron Johnson or Teron Johnson? I don't know. I'm going to keep calling him Teron, but it could be Taron. DJ Reed. Anybody else? JC Jackson, Trey Flowers. Look at the value down the board here. There's some good value down the board, I will say that. Especially with those two. Then you got free safeties, Minka, Jesse Bates, Justin Reed. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. And then strong safeties, Derwin James, Terrell Edmonds, Ronnie Harrison, Kaiser White, Foyesada Luakan. We can even turn a couple of those guys into linebackers if we wanted to. And then kickers, I don't know if we're going to need a kicker, probably. The Browns always need a kicker, so we'll put a couple kickers on there. We'll put a couple punters on there as well, just for the giggles. All right, so we've got our draft board underway. I'm kind of tempted to draft Baker just because it's Baker, but I don't know if that's going to be the smart thing to do. We could take Josh Allen. We could take, what's-his-face? I'm actually going to fire Andrew Berry, and I'm going to hire a quarterback scout because I want to know all about the quarterbacks. So, is there a 3-star quarterback that I like? It looks like it's quarterback safety and quarterback tight end. I don't really want that. Maybe I shouldn't go for quarterback then. I'll go for... There's middle linebacker quarterback. That's an interesting one. I'll go with that one. Hire scout, middle linebacker quarterback. We'll go with that one as our national scout. That'll be good to go. What's the region breakdown looking like? Corner, quarterback, halfback are the strengths, and we've got middle linebacker, quarterback. Perfect. So, good to go. It could be fun to take Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, since this is an alternate timeline. Let me take a look, a little peek skis at our draft capital. So we've got no first-round pick this year. Who's got our first-round pick? Uh-oh. We're probably going to be bad. So who's going to have our first-round pick? And is there any way I can make a trade for it? Draft picks. Who's got the Cleveland pick? Did the mod... Oh, the mod might not have taken into consideration... like the draft picks, so the real teams, so Texans might have our draft pick, or not? Yeah, the Texans have our draft pick. Okay, so that might not have taken into consideration the draft pick capital, so of what it was back then. So we got to get our pick back from Cleveland or from Texans somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we got to figure out a way. How are we gonna get this draft pick back from Houston? How are we going to get this draft pick back from Houston? Yeah, see, the Chicago Bears have 2 first-round picks. I'm pretty sure they didn't have 2 first-round picks in 2017. So, Houston Texans, how are we going to get your draft pick? They want Joe Thomas and a second, a third, and a sixth. Or a first, a third. They want Joe Thomas, Christian Kirksey, and Joe Schobert. Or Schobert. Why did I say Schobert? Batonio, Danny Shelton, they're not asking for a lot, but they're asking for a lot, if you know what I mean. You probably don't. How can I get away with not giving up too much? How can I give up just enough? I'll give you Isaiah Crowell. Does that tickle your fancy? It tickles my pickle, that's for sure. What about, I don't want to give up on offensive lineman. I could give up J.C. Treader, I guess. I could be talked into giving up Kevin Zeitler because I would be thinking about another offensive lineman anyway. So I could be persuaded to give up Kevin Zeitler. What are some of the trades again? A first, a third, and a sixth is not that bad. We'd be giving up our third this year, which we don't have that many first-round or that many picks in this year's draft anyway. So that might not be the greatest draft pick. This one, on the other hand, is 2019 first round pick along with a 2018 or a 2019 third and sixth. That one's not bad. I might do that one because 2019 first round picks probably aren't as hard to trade for as a 2017 or a 2018. So that's 2020 then. Because this is 2018, then 2019, then 2020. So this is a 2020 first round pick. Okay. I might do that. I'm going to do that. It's only 3 draft picks. We swap a first round pick, but we get our own first round pick back, which is very crucial because we are hopefully going to be pretty bad. So we need to get as many draft picks as possible. Now, on the other hand, how do I get other draft picks? How do I manage to get other draft picks? Excuse me. We have Roderick Johnson, who could be a replacement, I guess, for what's his face, for Larry Thomas, for Joe Thomas, Caleb Brantley, and Larry Ogunjobi. I don't really need Caleb Brantley, and he's kind of taken up a little bit of space. So I would consider moving on from him along with Tank Carter. No trade packages for either one of them. That's kind of depressing. Is there any way I can get other draft picks? Probably not. I can't get a third-round pick, can I? No, I can't even get close to a third-round pick. What about a fifth-round pick in 2026? Nope, it's not going to happen. I don't think I'm going to be able to make any more trades until I upgrade the trading stuff in the staff tree. So we do get our own first-round pick back, which is nice, but we give up a pick in a couple of seasons, a first-round pick in a couple of seasons. I'm just hoping that we are bad enough to where that draft pick actually helps us out. I guess we'll find out. I'm going to simulate to the end of year number 1. Actually, you know what? We're going to get to week 8 and then to week 11 and then all that stuff, and then we'll simulate to the end of the season. So I'll see you guys at week number 8. Made it to week 8. Somehow, we have 2 wins, which I do not like. I don't like the fact that we have 2 wins, but this is an alternate timeline. I told you it was an alternate timeline. We have a breakout running back scenario as well. Duke Johnson has a chance to go up from normal to star. 2 touchdowns or 100 yards. I doubt he gets it, but you never know. Superstar going from normal to star is a little bit easier in simulation than it is from going from anywhere higher. So it is possible. Doing the national focus, we're going to set it to... I mean, we could set it to quarterback. I mean, that's probably why I got the thing in the first place, but I also wanted to get middle linebackers. But middle linebacker is not a strength of the class. Let me look at the prospects again. Quarterbacks, I mean, we only really want to know about 3 of them. As far as middle linebackers go, we want to know about 3 of them. So it's about the same either way, so I guess I'll go quarterbacks just because. We'll go quarterback as our national focus, and we'll see what happens. Maybe Baker Mayfield is a bust. Who knows? Week number 8, but we got mock drafts and we got negotiations. BJ Bello, Isaiah Crowell, James Burgess, Josh Gordon. Yikes, there is nobody here that I want to bring back at all. I mean, not even Josh Gordon at 85 or $8.5 million. No. Isaiah Crowell at $23 million is a lot, but he could be trade bait, and he wants to be here, so we'll bring him back. BJ Bello at star development is intriguing. I'll sign him up for a 3-year deal. I'll give him $3 million, and I'll give him $2 million. And he says he's coming back. So we spend a few $1 million. We get a couple of backups to re-sign, and we'll accept the option on Danny Shelton when it comes time to do that. But that's pretty much all we need to do for renegotiations. Let's see what the breakout had to offer. And he got it. It's usually a lot easier to get star out of normal in simulation than it is to get like superstar out of star or superstar X Factor out of superstar. But we got to break out linebacker now. Christian Kirksey. Oh, this is what I was talking about. So he's superstar already. He has a chance to go up to X Factor now, and I doubt he gets it. Not just because we just got one with Duke Johnson, and Madden doesn't usually give you 2 in a row, but just because in simulation it's a lot harder. We lost again. He gave it everything I had, coach, but something didn't feel right. Yeah, he didn't get it. I could have bet my entire life, my soul, on him not getting that, and I would have been fine. So we're 2-6, heading into week 11 against the Ravens. Are we going to beat the Baltimore Ravens? We don't. We lose heavily. Why do we win 2 games? We're just going to lose all these other ones. If we were just going to lose all these games, why not just lose the other 2? Why do we have to win 2 and ruin our chances for having a guaranteed number 1 overall pick? Because now the Jets are even worse than us. They're 1-8, so now we got to battle with them to possibly get the number 1 overall pick. Week 11 against the Steelers. Did Madden change it? Do we not have week 11 scouting anymore? Did they do it? Did they save it at the thing, or am I just stupid? What's going on here? Because I don't see it anymore. I don't know. Maybe they changed it. Maybe it's the mod messing with things. I have absolutely no idea. But week 11 is not available for scouting anymore. I remember when I was doing the other video, I was able to scout 2 times right before the draft. So maybe they moved it to there, or maybe I just messed something up. I have no idea. But we got to move on anyway. So I'm going to simulate this week. See if we beat the Steelers. We hopefully don't beat the Steelers. We don't. We got blown away by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Danny Shelton goes from star to superstar. Okay. Danny Shelton, does he get it? I'm going to show you guys if he does. Danny Shelton, does he get it? We lose to the Broncos. Message from the breakout player. He did it. Danny Shelton goes from star to superstar. So that's a big development upgrade for a D tackle that's super young. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so now with all that out of the way, it is time to simulate to the end of the season. I will see you guys when we're there. The season is wrapped up, and we only won 1 more game. We won 3-14, worst record I'm hoping in the entirety of the NFL, and it is. The Texans won a couple more games. Commanders won a few more games. We are the number 1 overall pick. Yes. That means we can either stay pat and take a quarterback at number 1, or we could trade down and make some magic happen. That is possible. We got to see where the mock drafts has everybody going. Let's take a look at the numbers, though. Yeah. Deshaun Kaiser did not have a good season. We're looking at a new quarterback, basically. He's got the quarterback of the future tag. I don't know why, but he's got it. 4,100 yards, 23 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. Yikes. Duke Johnson went up from normal to star. He's pretty good. 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns. That's fine. That's admirable. Josh Gordon actually led the team. Why did Corey Coleman not lead the team? You've got a young wide receiver that should be better than this guy, but he for some reason led the team in yards and touchdowns and all that kind of stuff. Joe Schobert, 178 tackles. Carter had 146. Kirksey 112. 100 for Kindred. Collins Sr. had 97. Peppers had 92 as a rookie. Danny Shelton, 87. Myles Garrett, 76 with 20 tackles for loss, 12 sacks. That's the Myles Garrett that I know and love. 24 tackles for loss. Shelton had 23. 20 for Garrett. Garrett should never have bridge player tag. He should have face of the franchise tag, basically. And Jamie Collins had 16. Sack leader was Garrett with 12. 7.5 for Kirksey. 4.5 for Jamie Collins. 2.5 for Brantley. 2 for Ogba. 1.5, yada, yada, yada. Picks. Howard Wilson had 2. A couple guys had 1. Those are your numbers for Season 1. Let's get to the Super Bowl and get ready for the most important offseason. Season 1 offseason is always the most important offseason, regardless of what team you're rebuilding, what era you're rebuilding in. It is always the most important offseason. It's Panthers-Ravens in the Super Bowl. This Ravens team, by the way, doesn't even have Lamar Jackson yet because he's in this draft. So who's going to get the Super Bowl? It's going to be Carolina. Okay. Christian McCaffrey gets the MVP. Le'Veon Bell, MVP of the league, also Offensive Player of the Year. Shazier gets Defensive Player of the Year, so the Steelers just sweep the board on the Players of the Year and MVP. Kareem Hunt's Rookie of the Year, and Jamal Agnew on the Lions is the Defensive Rookie of the Year. So those are your awards and statistics and all that good stuff. Let's get to the stuff that really matters. We got to re-sign somebody. Was it Danny Shelton that needed to accept the option? I can't remember. We will take a little look. All right, retirements. Anybody big? Cameron Wake, yada, yada, yada. Nobody cares. Andrew Whitworth retires. Julius Peppers, Jabri Evans, Brandon Marshall, Matt Bryant. I thought it said Matt Ryan for a second. Matt Bryant. Okay. Some names. We get it. We gotcha. Let's get to negotiations. We have a ton of money in cap room. It was Danny Shelton. We'll accept the option. Nobody else needs to get brought back. Josh Gordon can go walk off of a small place and fall down or something. I don't know. Let's go to the lineup. Dev trade upgrades. David Njoku ends up being superstar. That's awesome. Duke Johnson doesn't have star. You guys clearly saw that. He went up. So I'm going to give Duke Johnson star. I don't know. I've been having that problem in a couple of different videos where it's not giving me my development trade upgrades even though it clearly went up. So we'll also check on the other guy. Who was it? It was Danny Shelton that got it. Jabril Peppers has X Factor. Wow. Myles Garrett goes up to superstar. Jamie Collins goes up to star. Kirksey's a superstar X-Factor now. I think it was Danny Shelton that had the other one. He's now a superstar. So we have to... No, I don't want to restructure his contract. We have to go and make him superstar development. I don't know why it's not working for giving them their upgrades, even though you guys clearly saw it. All right, so offensive line's looking a little interesting. And Njoku needs to develop. We need to get a new quarterback. The defense is looking a little bit better now with these dev upgrades, especially Peppers having himself Superstar X. That's awesome. Oh, Kindred also got up to star. I don't know why he did, but he did. We need to get some new corners. We need to get a couple different pass rushers. There's a lot to do. There is a lot to do, but we could figure it out in free agency, I guess. We got a lot of money, so let's go to free agency and figure out what we are going to have available to us. Is there going to be anybody big? There are not a whole lot. Quarterbacks, nope. Running backs, nope. Wide receivers, nope, not really. Ooh, Terrell Pryor. I'm going to go for Terrell Pryor just because I like Terrell Pryor. I like him. I like him a lot. All right, Terrell Pryor, we're going to bring you in. And he was a Cleveland Brown at one point. Tyler Eifert. That could be our tight end. Backup. Left tackle, Michael Orr. Luke Jokel. Travis Swanson, not seeing anything I like. Left ends. Lawrence Guy's interesting, but probably too low of an overall. Ezekiel Ansah. Interesting. I'm intrigued. He is 29 though, so that makes it a little less interesting. But I'm intrigued. Navarro Bowman's 30. Right outside linebackers, there's nobody. Man, this is not the greatest class. Tremaine Johnson and Malcolm Butler, I like. Fun fact about Malcolm Butler, not actually that good of a corner. He had the one interception in the Super Bowl that won the Patriots the Super Bowl, but other than that, I wasn't really that good. Tremaine Johnson will offer just because we have the availability too. I know he doesn't want to be here, but we need help at corner, and he can certainly be that. So we'll offer him, and we'll offer Malcolm Butler for the heck of it. Why not? Why not offer Malcolm Butler a contract that he probably rejects? Ooh, the 49ers are in on Tremaine Johnson. Do we raise the money? He's 28 at 82 overall. I don't think it's worth it. I think we just ride it out. If he accepts, awesome. If he doesn't, then we just get that money right back. So our only targets are going to be Tremaine Johnson, Malcolm Butler, Terrell Pryor. We get Terrell Pryor. We get Tremaine Johnson. He actually signed with us instead of the 49ers. Cool. And Malcolm Butler has not agreed to sign anywhere yet. Well, aren't you just a little annoying person? We'll move to the next free agent period. Getting Tremaine Johnson is going to be big because he's a veteran corner that has star development. Only an 82 overall, but he's just here as a little bit of a placeholder until we find our actual corners we're going to use. And maybe he ends up being the corner that we do use. That's also an option. A lot of teams in on Malcolm Butler, and we don't end up getting him. That's fine. We got Tremaine Johnson. I think I'm only going to spend the money on those two guys. We'll wait for the draft to go for everybody else. So let's adjust the lineup. They have Duke Johnson not starting. That's not what we want to happen. Terrell Pryor basically replaces Josh Gordon, and then Tremaine Johnson jumps to #1 corner. I'm fine with that. We need to get this team on some good morale so we can get better overalls. It's going to take some time, obviously, but we can do it. It is only year number 1. It is only year number 1. Okay, there's the focus players. Let's use these player points. So we are going to use one of them on Frank Ragnow. We're going to use one of them on Jordan Mailata. And we're going to use the last one. We know Fred Warner's going to be good. We're going to use the last one on Carlton Davis. I was really struggling to find somebody that I wanted to use it on, because some of those guys we just know are going to be good, so we don't have to waste a point on them. we know that they're going to be amazing. And now we're coming up on mock draft number 5. This is going to be crucial. Who are we going to have to pick? Where are all of our guys going to be scouted or projected? So we know Baker's around 2 to 3 talent. Okay. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are both around 1 to 2. I thought they'd be a little bit higher, especially Josh Allen, but whatever. Does Lamar Jackson have elite speed? He does. He has elite speed. 4.29. That's kind of crazy. Okay, so I kind of want to use some stuff on some other people here. Brian O'Neill, day 3 on Jordan Mailata. Okay. BJ Hill, and probably somebody else. We'll use it on Ronnie Harrison. Sure. Those will be the last of the workouts that we have. Now comes the most important part. Mock draft number 5. Saquon Barkley, number 1 overall pick. Okay, as much as I would love to take Saquon Barkley, I don't think we're going to take him. So we're going to pass on that. We can trade down. We're not going to take Bradley Chubb, even though that'd be pretty cool. We're not going to take Baker. Not going to take Roquan Smith. The first guy that I would consider taking is Josh Allen. He's at number 5. Then Quentin Nelson, Jair Alexander. Where's Lamar? Lamar's 13. Lamar is 13. Okay. We could trade down with Cincinnati, but trading down just this little bit, like 1 to 5, probably doesn't warrant that many draft picks in return, specifically first-round draft picks. We know that we're going to trade down, but I just don't know how far we're going to trade down. Do we go with Josh Allen or do we go with Lamar Jackson? That's another big question. I am going to make sure that we have enough ability to do that by buying this and then going down the list and purchasing all the extra boost so that it makes it slightly easier for us to trade up when we need to. And we just don't have enough to get the smooth talker. That's okay. That is okay. Almost had it. Almost had it. Let's advance the week so that all that stuff actually takes effect. And then we will get ready for the draft. Okay, here we are. It is time for the draft. How far are we going to trade down? How far are we going to trade down? Do we trade down to 5 or do we just bite the bullet, trade down, and then take Lamar Jackson? I'm not 100% sure because I kind of want Quentin Nelson and I kind of want Jair Alexander as well. I want a lot of these guys. I just don't know if it's going to be actually possible. So I will start the draft, but I will pause the draft. Let's take a look at what they're offering me here. So for the first overall pick, I can get pick number 5, which is the Josh Allen pick, and then a pick next year from Cincinnati plus a 2 and a 4 next year. 3 first-round picks from Buffalo plus a second next year. I'm intrigued. That is pick number 19, though, but I can trade up if I need to. Tampa's given me an okay offer. I can trade down to pick number 2, which might not be that bad. If we trade down to pick number 2, we pick up a second and a 4 next year, and we can trade down again. We probably won't get the same offer from Buffalo, which is the only bad thing. Vikings are giving me an okay offer. Steelers are giving me something interesting. I'm getting some a lot of first round pick offers, which I like. I'm very tempted to do that Cardinals deal because I think we can game the system and trade down again, but also have 2 more picks that we didn't already have for next season. So I think I'm going to do this. We're going to swap picks. Cardinals are going to jump to number 1. They'll take whoever they want. They take Bradley Chubb with the number 1 overall pick. Okay, so we pick up a free 2nd and 4th for next season. And Buffalo is still offering me 3 first-round picks. But the key thing now is they're not offering me a second in 2025. They're offering me a 7th. Okay. Keep that in mind. Minnesota, Tennessee. The second round pick's not as valuable as the first overall pick, obviously. There are a couple teams giving me some good offers. A lot of first round picks I like. But I'm still tempted to do that Buffalo trade. They're giving me a lot of good stuff. Although Philadelphia also giving me a lot of good stuff. The Chargers are giving me good. They're giving me 2 first round picks and a second. I'm tempted to do either the Eagles trade or the Bills trade. But the Bills trade, they're not giving me that 4th. I'm getting an extra 4th from the Eagles. So I might do this trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think I'm going to do that. Let's trade with Philadelphia. We get 3 first round picks. Well, 2 extra. Plus we trade down to pick number 20. So the Eagles take Saquon. Look at that. That's kind of crazy. Baker goes to Washington. Sounds like a movie. Baker goes to Washington. And now Cincinnati is up. So they have the opportunity to take Josh Allen. Do we want Josh Allen or do we want Lamar Jackson? That's the big question. That is the big question. Do we want Lamar Jackson or do we want Josh Allen? I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I'm honestly not too sure. Do we want Lamar or do we want Josh? Obviously, we know both these guys are going to be amazing. Josh Allen's got all the physical tools you want, but Lamar has the speed. He's also got the elite throw power. He's got everything you want and more. He's got more speed than Josh Allen does. So I think we're going to let Cincinnati take Josh Allen here. They can get their quarterback. Have yourself Josh Allen. They do. The Niners are up next. They take Quentin Nelson. Then Patriots should get Jair Alexander. I was just never going to be able to get those guys. Then Rashaan Evans. Vita Vea to the Jets. Sam Darnold to the Chargers. Will Hernandez. All right, so now we are on the clock with the Cardinals. It shouldn't be that difficult to trade up. We should be able just to slide ourselves from pick number 20 to pick number 18, I would hope. Right? The Jaguars have pick number 18. They decline it. They're very close, but I'll just go to number 19. I know a team had 19 at the top of the thing. So we'll just trade pick by pick. Bills have number 19. That's right. There we go. We trade with the Bills. Now we have pick number 19. We'll trade with whoever was 18. Then I just forgot. Was it the Jaguar? No, it wasn't the Jaguar. Who was it? Pick number 19. Pick number 18 is... It was the Jaguars. I shouldn't have second-guessed myself. There we go. Now we have pick number 18. And then I might be able to jump to number 15 if I'm... Or number 16 if I'm crazy. Just to speed up the process a little bit. So who has 16? 15 is held by, I think, the Buccaneers. 16 is held by the Giants. And they decline, but I will give them a 7th round pick in 2026, or I guess 2020. And bing, bang, bongo. We are right there now in the draft with a 2nd first round pick. Round 1 pick 16. Number 15 is held by Tampa, so we'll swap with them. And you guys can do this as well if you want a easy way to trade up into any pick you want, basically. If you're trading from 2 to 1 though, it's a little bit difficult. The number 1 pick always has a little bit more value, so you have to give up a little bit more. It's never really, there's rarely ever a time when it's 1-for-1, a 1-for-1 swap with the number 1 overall pick, even if you have number 2. But it can happen sometimes. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. Trading from pick 15 to pick 13 with Miami, and they decline it, but I can give them a 7th rounder in 2025 because we have 2 of those. So boom, we have pick number 13 now. I think I'm going to do one more trade just to trade up with Arizona, just so I have the ability to take Lamar Jackson without Cardinals taking him, because Knowing the Cardinals, they would take him in a heartbeat. So I will grab the number 12th overall pick, and boom, just like that, we go from number 20 to number 13, or number 12. Easy peasy. Make our selection, and we'll get our franchise quarterback. We could take Denzel Ward, which I'm surprised he's still on the board, to be honest with you, but we will get ourselves our franchise quarterback, Lamar Jackson, on the squad. 97 speed, 94 throw power, 93 acceleration. Nope, 93 to change direction, 96 acceleration. Our franchise quarterback has arrived in Cleveland. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Connor Williams. Denzel Ward finally goes to Tampa. Kind of shocked he made it that far. I thought about trading up to get him, but I just didn't know what to give up to get him, is the big question. Leighton Vander Esch is still on the board. So is Tremaine Edmonds. So is Colton Miller. There's a lot of guys that I like. There are a lot of guys I like on this board still. Why they got to make it difficult for me? Why they got to make it difficult for me? I mean, Darius Leonard's available. I feel like, in my heart of hearts, if I'm trusting in the heart of the cards, I feel like this is a Leighton Vander Esch pickup or a Tremaine Edmonds pickup. One of the two middle linebackers. Only decent speed for Tremaine Edmonds, really? He's one of the faster linebackers in the league, I thought. Leighton Vander Esch. One of these two guys is going to be our dude. I just don't know which one. I don't know which one. I mean, there's good players left. The Colton Miller one's probably going to haunt me if I don't take Colton Miller. If I don't take Colton Miller, I could maybe still wind up with Brian O'Neill. Oh man, this is difficult. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm going to take Colton Miller. Yeah. I'm going to take Colton Miller. Oh, that might not have been the smartest idea, but he's a development trait. He's probably our replacement for Joe Thomas. I just got to hope that there's a linebacker left in the third round. I mean, it helps that we're picking at the very first... Oh, Fred Warner. It helps that we're picking at the very first pick of the third round, so we have that benefit of... Man, a lot of guys are going way earlier than I thought they would. Both the middle linebackers are still on the board. Terrell Edmonds got taken for Tremaine Edmonds, which is kind of interesting. Justin Reed, Michael Gallup, Mike McGlinchey, Austin Corbett. There goes Vander Esch to the Cowboys, of all teams. Sony Michel, Uchenna Nwosu, DJ Shark, Josh Rosen to the Lions. Deron Payne's still on the board too, which is interesting, but we don't really need him because we have superstar development Danny Shelton. And there he goes. Harold Landry, Brian O'Neill, I would have liked, and Tremaine Edmonds. I just didn't think it was possible to trade up. It just didn't feel possible. All right, this is our last pick until the 5th round, so we got to make this one count. We got to get somebody here that's going to make an impact. And I feel like it has to be a corner. Because we have really nobody. So we could grab Teron Johnson to be our corner, number 2, alongside Tremaine Johnson. Yeah, we're going to let Wyatt Teller go. That's okay. Let's pick up Teron Johnson. He's hidden development. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. He can end up being a pretty good player for us. We're banking on it. All right, so we skip all the way to the 5th round. That's a lot of draft picks ahead of us. Here we are. Is there anybody on our board? There are still some players. Mainly Dalton Schultz, which I'm very intrigued by. I might take Dalton Schultz here. I think I'm going to. We have 2 5th-round picks, so... Dalton Schultz, only normal development, but all he needs to be is a backup, so I'm fine with that. Big pickup. Now we have the final pick of the 5th round, so we'll simulate to that. And we will see what is left. Jordan Mailata No J.C. Jackson. I probably would have taken J.C. Jackson if he was available. I think this has to be a Jordan Mailata pickup here. Normal development, probably going to be a super low overall. But more offensive line depth is never a bad thing. Go to the 6th round. We have 2 picks in the 6th round, actually. So I guess we'll just take the guys on our board. We've got Phillip Lindsay and Will Clapp. So let's take Phillip Lindsay first. He's development track. I'm pretty sure Phillip Lindsay's superstar development, if I'm not mistaken. And then we'll go all the way to the end of the 6th round. And we'll take Will Clapp if he's still there, which I would assume he would be. And he is. All right, perfect. Only normal development. They should give him X Factor. It's Will Clapp. It is Will Clapp. And then into the 7th round, there's 1 pick left, and we can probably take a kicker. So I'll take Daniel Carlson. Why not? Better than his brother. I think they're brothers. I don't know. Daniel Carlson, final pick that we make. Okay, so we were able to come away with a lot more draft capital than we originally started out with, which is nice. Getting that first overall pick was big. Lamar Jackson ends up being a 72. He'll start right away. Colton Miller's a 76, and then it drops off a lot. Daniel Carson's a 76 as well. All right, that's a little bit low overalls, but there wasn't really much we could do about that. 83 for Quentin Nelson, 81 for Jay Alexander, Mark Andrews, 79. Whatever. I'm happy with it. I mean, Lamar Jackson's better overall than... Wait, is he not? Where's Lamar Jackson at? Round 1. Where's Josh Allen at? Josh Allen's a 74. And Lamar is a 72. So Lamar is a better Josh is a better overall. That's okay. Only by 2. And Lamar, we know, is the better quarterback. So we've got our franchise quarterback. We've got the left tackle of the future in Colton Miller. Now we just need to go and make those other final pieces. All right, so we add Colton Miller here. He might even next season start at right tackle over Sean Coleman. We need to maybe work on the offensive line a little bit. Lamar Jackson will start it at quarterback over Deshaun Kaiser. He doesn't have a lot of receivers to throw to, so he might struggle in his rookie season. And then defensively, I do like the defense. We need to add a few extra pieces. But we do have some talent there. Christian Kirksey's an X Factor. He's young. Jabril Peppers X Factor. He's young. Myles Garrett will presumably be an X Factor next season. And if everything goes well, maybe Danny Shelton will be too. So, I mean, the foundation's there. But next season is going to be probably another loss. Probably another loss of a season. We got to keep in mind how the Bills do, because we have their first... No, not the Bills. Who do we have their first... Whose first round pick do we have this year? I forget already who we traded with. Philadelphia. So we got to keep in mind how Philadelphia does and how Arizona does for the second round pick. Okay, so that's going to be crucial. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2 with the results. Season 2 is wrapped up, and we actually got worse. We finish 1-16, almost the 0-16 Cleveland Browns that we were looking to get last season. We got that almost this year. It's not promising for Lamar's development. He didn't have that good of a year. But to be fair, he doesn't have a lot of weapons yet. Take that into account. 3,900 yards, 16 touchdowns, 23 picks for Lamar. Duke Johnson, another pretty solid year, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. If your backup tight end is getting 1,000 yards, leading the team, you're not in a good spot in terms of weapons. Corey Coleman, 900 yards, 3 touchdowns. Terrell Pryor, yikes. Njoku, for some reason, didn't start and get enough yardage. I don't know what happened there. Oh my God. Joe Schobert had 202 tackles. Are you kidding me? 202 tackles? That's the highest number of tackles I've ever seen in a Madden simulation. That's insane. I didn't even know it could get that high. Wow, okay. Tank Carter had 120. Christian Kirksey had 105. Jamie Collins had 105. Tackle for loss leader was Shelton with 22. Then Garrett 21. Kirksey 20. Sack leader was Kirksey with 8. Kirksey's been playing pretty well. I'm going to keep him around. Danny Shelton had 7. Garrett had 6.5. 4 for Ogbus. 3 for Collins. And then 2 for Tremaine Johnson. 2 for Howard Wilson in the pick category. just not a whole lot of good stuff, basically, because we were a bad football team. So what do you expect? You expect us to have great numbers across the board? No, we're not supposed to have that. We do need to check and see how good the Eagles did because we have their first-round pick. So I'm hoping they didn't do that great. They don't have Jalen Hurts, that's for sure. So we'll see how they do. It's Panthers and Steelers. The Panthers won the Super Bowl last year, so we'll see what they do here. Are they going to go back-to-back? And they will. Back-to-back world champions for the Carolina Panthers. This time it's Darrell Worthy as the MVP. And Le'Veon Bell gets back-to-back MVPs of the league. And he also gets back-to-back Offensive Players of the Year. Von Miller gets Defensive Player of the Year. Ronald Jones, Rookie of the Year on the offense. And Bradley Chubb is Defensive Rookie of the Year. So the number 1 overall pick from last season gets the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Congratulations all around. And we move to the year number 2 offseason. Another important offseason. We need to get weapons for Lamar Jackson. That is the number 1 goal. This offense will not go without weapons for Lamar Jackson. So first order of business is the word I was looking for, is to see the development trade upgrades. Lamar Jackson, superstar. Offensive line's looking We need to get weapons for Lamar. On the defense, Myles Garrett goes up to X Factor. That's what I wanted. That's what I was calling for. Everybody else seems to have stayed the same. I'm surprised Schobert didn't go up to X Factor with a 200 tackle season. But we need to focus. The defense can come a little bit later. We need to focus on getting weapons for Lamar Jackson. This offense isn't going to go well, and Lamar Jackson is not going to develop the way that we want him to without any weapons on the team. So we need to figure that out. As far as why does Tank Carter have superstar development? I don't know. We're going to let all these guys walk. It looks like Allen Lazard, I mean, maybe I'll bring him back just because he's a body. So we'll bring Allen Lazard back, but everybody else can go. We'll let Tank Carter go. I don't care. He's 30 years old. He's a 69 overall, and he wants way too much money for his production and his overall. Even if he had a decent season this year. I don't care. Let's go to free agency. Oof. Eric Kendricks available and decently young. Running backs, wide receivers. There's just nobody that I like. There's nobody that's that good. Allen Robinson, maybe. I'll go for Allen Robinson. Maybe we can turn Allen Robinson into something. He only has normal development, though. There's just not really a whole lot of options on the table. Tight ends, left tackles, left guards, centers. Just nothing. Nothing on the offensive line at all. Nothing on the defensive line, it looks like, either. And then you got Devon Kennard, but I like what we have it outside. And I got to put all my chips in on the Eric Kendricks basket here. Getting an X-Factor linebacker to pair alongside Joe Schobert would be the ideal situation. If we get Eric Kendricks, we pair him alongside Schobert, and maybe we grab ourselves Bernardo McKinney as well, and then we move him to outside linebacker, and he starts over Jamie Collins. That could be something. All right, we could be splashing a little bit of cash here at the linebacker position, and maybe at the cornerback position as well. Maybe. Bradley Roby is interesting. I might go Bradley Roby here. He's 27. He doesn't really want to be here, but he's a Buckeye, so he has to be here. All right, so we'll see how that goes. Those are going to be the guys that I offer. We're going for the second highest rated player in the class. I hope we get him. Let's see what happens. We got McKinney and Roby. That's nice to see. We didn't get... Who did we not get? We didn't get somebody. Or maybe we got everybody. Oh, no, we only had 4 guys. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Eric Kendricks. Yes, Eric Kendricks signed with us. And then Allen Robinson chose not to sign yet. Why is everybody being so stubborn? But getting Eric Kendricks is huge, because now we can switch from a 4-3 to a 3-4 and have the pressure taken off of our guys. So if we switch to what's the best offense we can run? Vertical power run. And then if we switch to a 3-4, a 4-6 defense, that's the best scheme fit, it looks like. I might need to run Baltimore's offense, too, just so we can work Lamar Jackson into it a little bit more. All right, there we go. We'll rock Baltimore's offense. Okay, so we will generate the best lineup to make sure we got everything going here. We've got that. We got Lamar as the starter. We've got Njoku as the starter at tight end. Colton Miller. Okay, Johnson looks like he's starting at right tackle. And then over here, we are going to make Joe Schobert an outside linebacker. I don't want to ruin the scheme fit, so I'm going to make Joe Schobert an outside linebacker. It's Madden. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to make him an outside linebacker so that Kendrick can be the middle linebacker. And then we will... Oops. Did that lower his overall too much? No, he just needs to be generated the best lineup. There we go. Now he starts. We still need to get a pass rusher, that's for sure. But Bradley Roby will start over Taylor for right now. And then on the offense, we need to make sure we got this right. So Lamar starts, Duke Johnson starts, and Njoku starts. All right, so that's how the offense is going to look. I also need to check and see. I haven't even checked to see where Philadelphia finished. We don't even know what other draft pick we have. I might as well just wait till mock draft number 5 comes out. That'll just be the easiest way. I could just go to the standings, but then we'll know officially. If we see it in mock draft number 5, we'll know officially how it all shapes out. So, focus scouting. This is the 2019 draft class. Getting a running back would be very useful, so I'll scout Josh Jacobs and Tony Pollard, and then probably we got to get a wide receiver, so we got to scout one of these guys. We know they're going to be good, though. But how good are they going to be? I don't know. I'll go for Terry McLaurin first. So Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard as the backup to Josh Jacobs if we can't get him. We got to get the offense. Once the offense is figured out, then the rest will come easy. Everybody will start winning games. Everybody's momentum will go up, or morale will go up, and we'll start winning more games. We'll start getting better overalls. So we got to get this offense figured out first. Josh Jacobs around 1 to 2. Tony Pollard's around 3 to 4. And we got Terry as around 1. All right. I want to use Eric McCoy, Chris Lindstrom, and Max Crosby. Those are going to be the guys that we use next. So I have a feeling that we can come away with some really good players in this class if I make it work right. Mock draft number 5. We have the number 1 overall pick for the second straight year. They have us taking Josh Jacobs. I don't think that's really true. I don't think that he's actually going to be the number 1 overall pick. Where did Philadelphia finish? Philadelphia finished... Oh, I'm looking for me. What am I talking about? 11. I was looking for the Eagles. I was like, where did they finish? We have 11 as well. So that's Rashawn Gary, which I would not be mad at. We can move him to outside linebacker and be totally fine. Is Max Crosby... Max Crosby's not projected to go first round. No, he's not. And Terry McLaurin is, though. What about the other receivers? Did I see DK and AJ Brown? Debo's there, but DK and AJ Brown are not. Oh, AJ Brown is, but DK's not. Why is AJ Brown projected to go first round? That's crazy. I don't think Josh Jacobs is projected to go number 1 overall. He's just projected to go number 1 overall because we are picking number 1 overall. Getting Nick Bosa, I think, is the move. Pairing him alongside Myles Garrett would be the best idea. So I think that's going to be our first idea. We're going to draft Nick Bosa. Other than that, I don't have a clue. I don't have an absolute clue what we're going to do because we have pick 11. So we might as well do that. And I'll just spend a couple of points over here just in case. Always like to get that up too. It doesn't help for the trading, but it helps with the re-signing stuff. All right. So now with all that out of the way, we're going to simulate to the draft. This is a big draft. This is a big, big boy draft. Oh. Let's start it. I don't think I'm going to trade down. I think I'm going to take Nick Bosa at number 1. I'm going to take Nick Bosa number 1 overall. How could we pass up on him? It's Nick Bosa. Pairing him alongside Myles Garrett with Danny Shelton in the middle is going to be a nice pairing. And we have ourselves... We needed a hole. We had a hole at right end, so we needed to get filled, and we did it there. Cleveland Farrell goes number 2. Kyler Murray goes 3. Daniel Jones is 4. Brian Burns is 5. Quinnen Williams is 6. Raiders get Montez at 7. Marquise Brown 8. Giants take Josh Allen. And Jawan Taylor goes at number 10. So here we are at number 11. We already filled the need of a right end, a defensive lineman. So we don't need Rashawn Gary unless we move him to outside linebacker and then trade away somebody else. Ugh. I would love to get like Dexter Lawrence or Christian Wilkins, but we have Danny Shelton, and there's other needs that we have more so than defensive tackle, even though all these guys are amazing and talented players. Do we trade down slightly? That's another question. I think I might trade down. Let me just take a look at what the trade downs have. What are my offers here? Let me do my due diligence. How far do I need to trade down? Nobody's giving me first round picks for this draft. Okay, there we go. Washington's giving me the 15th pick. That's not that far of a trade, but I would also get a 2027 third. Why is nobody giving me... Nobody wants to trade up in the draft? With the cost of their own pick? The deals are not looking that enticing. That one's not bad, though. Trading down to 16 with the Colts to get a third-round pick. Trading down to 17 to get a second. Okay, Kansas City might have just come in clutch. Kansas City... Thank you for that deal. I will trade down with you, take an extra second, and be happy about that. So Rashawn Gary goes to Kansas City. I'm not too upset about that. Drew Lock, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Oliver. So the D tackles are still on the board at 17. So is Devin White, but we don't really need them. Do we just take Josh Jacobs or Debo? Or can I get more trade picks? More trade picks? More draft picks? I might be flying too close to the sun here, but I'm trying my best to figure out a way to finagle everything that I want. Nobody's really given me the offers that I like, though. Because I still want to have a first-round pick this year, but nobody's giving me a first-round pick this year, so... Ooh, Chicago. I didn't even see this one. I just rolled right past it. Chicago's giving me pick 26 and pick 58. I might do that. Ah, Chicago, thank you. Debo goes... Darnell Savage, Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons, Mecole Hardman, Eric McCoy, Christian Wilkins, LJ Collier, and Elton Jenkins. Okay, so we've traded down enough. We need to grab ourselves our running back right here. And remember, Terry McLaurin's still on the board. So we're not out of the running or the wide receiver race just yet. But we're going to get ourselves our running back of the future to help Lamar Jackson, because we know the Lamar Jackson needs it. So we finally trade down enough. Finally take somebody. Then Byron Murphy, Irv Smith, Chris Lindstrom. I was hoping he might fall. Patriots take Terry. I didn't think he'd fall. And there's A.J. Brown. Did DK go already? Is DK still on the board? DK's still on the board. We got to take DK here. Got to take DK. 94 speed, 93 jumping, 92 excel. Got another weapon for Lamar Jackson. We have another second-round pick thanks to whatever team we just traded with. I forget what it was already. Jonathan Abram. Okay. Back again here in the second round. Devin White is tempting. Why is he so tempting? Because he's good? Devin White is very tempting. He might be my guy. Yeah, I think Devin White's the option here. It's the smart thing to do. Getting another middle linebacker we can trade some of the other guys that we have, like Joe Schobert and other players like that. So taking Devin White is the smart thing to do. We also have another second-round pick at pick 26. Deontay Johnson, Taylor Rapp, Devin Bush. Let's just skip to it. All right, so then we don't pick again until the 4th round. I might want to take Sean Murphy-Bunting here. Sean Murphy-Bunting might be the best pick available. How's he looking? Looks pretty good. B-man, B-zone. Greedy looks... They look about the same. They have the same kind of numbers. I think Murphy-Bunting's the better option here. I'm going to grab myself... But then... What if Max Crosby's gone by round 5? Or round 4, whatever pick we have. Take Murphy-Bunting. We need corner. We need corner. Okay, so we don't pick again until the first pick of the 4th round. I think we have to find a way to trade into the 3rd round to get Max Crosby, but he's a day 3 guy. Do we really think that people are going to get him? I guess we have to run that risk. Let's skip to the 4th round. We have to run that risk that nobody scouted Max Crosby and he's still on the board and he's gone. Somebody took him in the 3rd round. That's depressing. Okay. Okay. Not what I wanted. I'm going to grab Jamel Dean here. Another corner to add to the squad. Man, I thought Max Crosby was going to be available. It's a good thing we got Nick Bosa. All right, we have another 6th round pick here. Or 4th round pick, not 6th round pick. And I think this is going to be the pick I take Dre Greenlaw with. Getting a lot of linebackers, but this just adds to the depth and adds to the ability to trade some of our older guys. Or some of the guys that we don't really like too much. Now we don't pick again to the 6th round. Who do we have on the board here? David Andrews is still on the board. Nobody's left. I was going to probably take, what's-his-face? Tony Pollard, but he's gone. I'll take Donovan Wilson. I'll grab Donovan Wilson with the 6th round pick. That's a solid, strong safety. And then I'll let the CPU handle the 7th round. I don't really care about it, so... Okay, that was quite the draft. We didn't come away with everybody that I wanted, but it was pretty much impossible to come away with everybody that I wanted. But I feel like that was a really, really good draft. We come away with Nick Bosa, 78 overall. He's going to start over Emmanuel Ogbah day 1. And then him and Myles Garrett on the defensive line, that's crazy. Josh Jacobs will start at running back. DK will start at probably number 1 receiver. Devin White at middle linebacker. Murphy-Bunting. We got a couple nice corners. Dre Greenlaw, Donovan Wilson. They took Larry Allen Jr. Okay, so I like our draft. We got the 4th best player in the class. That's fine by me. Quinnen Williams, best player. And then DK is right there. So we got 4 and 5. I'll take that. I will take that. 2 top 5 players in the class. Always a good thing. And we have Philadelphia's 1st round pick for this season. So I'd say that's pretty W. Pretty big W's. And we don't have our own 1st round pick because we traded that away in year number 1. So we have Philadelphia's pick and that's it. All right. So Lamar Jackson will get the start. Josh Jacobs will get the start at running back. DK will get the number 1 receiver spot. And then on the defensive side of things, Bosa will start there. We got a lot of linebacker depth now. A lot of linebacker depth. Kindred will start there. We will have Murphy-Bunting back a little bit. Okay, the team's coming together. The team is definitely coming together. It's going to be interesting to see how Lamar Jackson does in the Baltimore offense now. But I'm going to simulate year number 3, and I'll catch you guys at the end of the year. Season 3 is wrapped up, and we had so much of an improvement. We went from a 1-win football team to an 11-win football team with this Baltimore playbook and Lamar Jackson being the focus point of that Baltimore playbook. And we sneak into the wild card, I'm guessing, as the 7 seed because we didn't win the division. So I'm guessing we're the final team in the playoffs. We will take on the Chargers in the 1st round, in the wild card round. I am just thrilled at the fact that we had such a turnaround. Lamar Jackson didn't really do much in terms of passing, but I think we just didn't allow enough points. That must have been what it was. 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks for Lamar Jackson. 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns for Josh Jacobs. So that's where our offensive production was going. He might have won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Terrell Pryor is the leading receiver for some reason, even though DK was there. Okay, 8 touchdowns for him. Whatever. Then defensively, 165 tackles for Kirksey, 147 for Schobert, 108 for Kindred. So we are just getting tackles upon tackles upon tackles. Tremaine Johnson, 84. Peppers, 83. Danny Shelton led the team with 18 tackles for loss. Garrett had 14. Bosa had 13. Brantley had 11. Sack leader was Shelton with 11.5. He could go up to Superstar X Factor very easily. 10 for Bosa as a rookie. Awesome. Garrett had 9.5. 3.5 for Devin White. 3 for Kirksey. 5 picks for... Okay, this is where we were winning games. 5 picks for Tremaine Johnson. 4 for Bradley Roby. 2 for Kirksey and Peppers. And 1 for Murphy Bunting and Jamar Taylor. That is some crazy production on turnovers. You love to see it. And we take on the LA Chargers in the wild card round. Are we going to be one and done? Yeah, we're one and done. Not a surprise, though. I didn't think we even should have been in there in the first place. But we are. We made the postseason in year number 3. That's a good start. That'll give us that head start on morale boost. Getting these guys upgraded with their morale. Steelers are in the Super Bowl. I would assume they would take this against the Falcons. No, Falcons actually handled it pretty well. 38-20 victory. Matt Ryan gets a Super Bowl. Ben Roethlisberger gets the MVP. So it was Le'Veon Bell for 2 years. Then it's Ben Roethlisberger. Todd Gurley gets Offensive Player of the Year. Von Miller, Defensive Player of the Year. Justice Hill is the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Lions. And Dexter Lawrence, Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Broncos. So, unfortunately, Josh Jacobs doesn't get Offensive Rookie of the Year, even though he had 1,500 yards and like 8 touchdowns or something like that. So, whatever. We move to the year 3 offseason. And I think, considering we got to move the timeline up now, considering we just got ourselves a playoff berth in year 3, a couple of extra pieces here and there, and we're ready to go for a freaking championship. That's how I'm thinking right now. That's basically how I'm thinking. Lamar Jackson, still a 72 overall. I thought he would go up a little bit. Josh Jacobs, superstar. DK's superstar. We need to add probably one more receiver. We need to add one more receiver, and then we'll be good to go. On defense, Danny Shelton does go up to X Factor, which is awesome. We've got Myles Garrett X Factor. Everybody's looking good. Everybody's looking delicious. Devin White's superstar. Okay. Everybody's looking good. We are developing. We're looking tasty. And I'm ready to go for the re-sign period. I have no idea who needs new contracts. We don't have a ton of money. Joe Schobert needs a big contract. Danny Shelton needs a big contract. Okay, some of the big-time players are coming up for new contracts. So this is a little bit interesting. I'm certainly going to pay Danny Shelton. I can't lose my number 1 D tackle. So we are going to pay Danny Shelton a heck of a lot of money to return to Cleveland. Come on, Danny, please accept this contract, and he's coming back. So we have $44 million. Joe Schobert wants to be here. I think we trade Joe Schobert because we have Devin White. We have a bunch of players that are capable of going outside. Corey Coleman I'll bring back as well. He's coming back. We have $10 million. Can't really afford anybody else, can I? I can afford Terrell Pryor, but do I want to afford Terrell Pryor? Probably not. I think we're going to trade Joe Schobert. We can probably get a decent amount for him. He's a young player still. And we can probably get a good amount of stuff. He's our 3rd highest rated player. We can get 3rd round picks, 4th round picks, 2nd round picks this year. Okay, we can get 2nd round picks for Joe Schobert. Can I get a player? Can I get like a number 1 strong safety on a team? Kevin Byard? He's a 90 overall. He's probably too expensive. Buda Baker's young, but he's only got 1 year left on his deal. There's Derwin. Would they give me Derwin? They would, straight up. Wow, okay. I probably should have asked for a little bit more. Okay. That's how that goes. I didn't think that was going to go through. I probably should have because he was a higher overall by a lot. But we got Derwin James now, so we don't need Kindred. He's on an expiring contract anyway. Let's see. Who else do we not need? Jamar Taylor we can trade away. And Jamie Collins we can trade away. No trade packages for these guys. But can I get a second-round pick for all three of them? Not even close. A third-round pick? Not even close. A fifth-round pick? Not even budging. Can I get anything? Can I get a seventh-round pick for these guys? Okay, something's glitched with the trade for these three guys. What about if I just trade Kindred? Can I do something with that? No. Okay, so something's going on with these guys. I can't trade them, so we'll just have to lose them for nothing. But we do get a new strong safety in Derwin James, which is nice. Let's get to free agency. I don't think we're going to have enough money to really make anything happen, but that's okay. Sign some free agents. Devondre Campbell. We don't need. We have, and he's probably too expensive anyway. We don't need Devondre Campbell. We don't need a running back. We do need another wide receiver, though, but I don't see anybody that I absolutely have to have. Maybe somewhere down the board, like Martavis Bryant for a little bit of less money. He wants to be here, too, so I'll offer Martavis Bryant like a 2-year deal. Nothing too crazy. We need another receiver since Terrell Pryor is leaving. Joe Tooney is not a high enough overall. I think that's going to be the only guy that we offer. I don't think anybody else is going to get the job done. So Martavis Bryant has signed with us, so we get an extra receiver for Lamar to throw to. Who knows if he's going to be impactful or not, but we at least get somebody else for him to throw to. And we have to really rely on this draft. We have to rely on this draft, and then we have to rely on next season's simulation to give us quite the lift, quite the boost. I don't know where the Eagles finish. I think the Eagles made the playoffs now that I think about it. So we're not going to have that big of a draft pick, but we could trade up if we needed to, like I did in year one. It's the 2020 draft class. What do we need? We don't need a quarterback. We don't need a running back. We have Josh Jacobs. Another receiver would be nice. Justin Jefferson, obviously. An offensive lineman probably would be good, like Tyler Biadasz. Tristan Wirfs would obviously be amazing. I think I'm going to use my other one on... I don't know who I'm going to use my other one on. Willie Gay, maybe? Or another corner. I'll use it on Travion. Or not Travion, Trayvon. And then I'll use the other ones probably on Tristan Wirfs and somebody else, I guess. Let's get to the free agency recap. See where everything is at. Figure out where we're drafting. Private workouts. All right, let's go to it. They have Joe Burrow as a round 1 talent, not a top 5 talent, which is kind of crazy. Let's see. So I want to use Willie Gay, probably. Yeah, Willie Gay. And then Tristan Wirfs. And I don't know who else. Who else is going to be the guy? Cam Curl, maybe? Cam Curl. Sure, yeah, let's do that. Okay. So we've got a plan. We just need to execute it. I haven't told you the plan, but I got a plan. It's not a good plan, but I got a plan. Washington's going to take Chase Young. Interesting. The Patriots are going to get their quarterback, Joe Burrow. Look at that. That makes me happy. Tua to Denver. Justin Herbert to Miami. The Eagles have given us the 22nd pick, which is Josh Uche. Justin Jefferson is round 1 pick 15. I'm going to trade up to get Justin Jefferson. Getting another receiver for Lamar Jackson is priority number 1. So we are going to trade up. I'm not going to show you guys this. I'll cut it to when I have it. So I'm going to trade up from pick 22 to pick number 15, and I'll catch you guys when I got it. Okay, so I actually traded up to number 13 just to be safe that we would get Justin Jefferson. I didn't want to trade up to 15 and then he gets taken a little bit ahead of us. I wanted to have a little bit of a cushion. So now we will start the draft, and I simulated the draft. Oh my god. And I didn't save, so I can't just go back. It's auto-saved. Welp, I didn't mean to do that. That's for sure. So let's see who the CPU drafted us. Drafted Jalen Hurts, Antonio Gibson, Gabe Davis, Tyler Biadasz, Darnay Holmes, Jordan Fuller, KJ Osborne. Why would they draft Jalen Hurts when I didn't need Jalen Hurts? We have Lamar Jackson. Oh, I hate myself. I really do hate myself. I'm such a stupid boy. Well, now we have to basically rely on the simulation to bail me out, because I accidentally hit simulate. I know why they took a quarterback, because I had Jalen Hurts at the top of my board, and they just take the top person on your board. But we didn't need a quarterback. We didn't need one. I had a quarterback in Lamar Jackson. Oh, I mean, the team looks amazing on defense with the X factors and stuff. I'm going to start Greenlaw at outside. Actually, I'm going to start McKinney at outside linebacker. The defense looks good. It's just the offense looks a little bit shaky now. Offense looks a little bit shaky. Having Justin Jefferson there would have definitely helped, but I'm a stupid boy, and I accidentally simulated. So here goes year number 4. I really hope that we can get back to that 11 win mark, because we really need to. So I'll see you guys at the end of the season. Year 4 is wrapped up, and I'm just as shocked as you guys are. We finished 13-4, but not only did we finish 13-4, we were the best record in the AFC. We won the 1 seed. We got the 1 seed. We had the bye. I don't know how the AFC didn't have a team better than 13 wins, but they didn't. And we are the 1 seed in the AFC. Can we go further than we did last time we were in the postseason, which is losing the wild card round? Maybe. It's possible. This Ravens playbook combined with Lamar Jackson must be really helping us out, and the defense must be killing it too. 3,400 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks for Lamar Jackson. He's not really putting up like crazy numbers, but he's putting up good enough numbers to win games, obviously. And I mean, I shouldn't really question the offense when we got Josh Jacobs doing stuff like this. 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns. That's why we're winning ball games. Still, no 1,000-yard receiver. I don't know why DK Metcalf and David Njoku are not getting the usage that they should, but I mean, Martavis Bryant had a good season. And then on defense, I guess it doesn't really matter who's getting the yardage when we're winning games. Eric Kendrick had 188 tackles. That's crazy. Christian Kirksey had 136. Peppers had 92. Derwin James had 89. Tackle for loss leader was Garrett with 24. Bosa had 17. Shelton had 15. Sack leader was Myles Garrett. Finally, Myles Garrett's arriving. You love to see it. And it says he's an award winner. I wonder what he won. Best defensive lineman, maybe? He certainly didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. There's got to be like Von Miller or somebody had a better year. Bosa had 9.5 sacks. Shelton had 6.5. Kirksey 5. Devin White had 4. 6 interceptions for both Derwin James and Bradley Roby, plus 4 for Jermaine Johnson, 3 for Kirksey, 2 for McKinney. Okay, we are a turnover crazy ball club. We are turning teams over like crazy amounts of times. We're taking on the Tennessee Titans. Are we going to get a victory here and go to the AFC title game for the first time? We are. Oh my God, we are in the AFC Championship against the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is actually insane. It's actually insane. Are we going to play in the Super Bowl for the first time in year number 4? That would be crazy. I don't even know if we're ready to play in the Super Bowl, but, I mean, we're getting there. We're winning games somehow. And it's got to be this defense. This defense has got to be carrying us. I mean, we saw the numbers. They're absolutely dominating. Let's go take on the Steelers, I guess. Steelers and Browns in the AFC Championship. It is a AFC North rivalry renewed in the playoffs for a trip to the Super Bowl. We did it, and we didn't even they didn't have a chance. It was 38-14. We are actually in the Super Bowl in year number 4 with a team that I didn't think was going to get to the Super Bowl. I thought we'd make the playoffs, but I didn't think we'd get to this point. But we are just riding high in the Super Bowl against the Rams. We are the better team on paper. Are we going to win a Super Bowl here? I guess we got to find out. It's Super Bowl time. Rams and Browns. We need to get this W, but it's not looking good so far. The Rams are absolutely cooking us. 13-0, 13-7. Come on, boys. We're just not... I don't know if we have the offensive firepower. There's a big touchdown. We put one back on the board. I like it. Can we add more to it? Oh my God, we just did. Oh my God, we just did. 32-29. There is not a whole lot of time left. 4th and 12. We did it. We actually did it. This team, the team of destiny. Wow. I thought I heard Jim Nantz on the call there for some reason. Oh my God, we actually did it. I had zero hopes that we would win this game. But we did. We took the 0-16 Cleveland Browns, or what was going to be the 0-16 Cleveland Browns, and we've turned them into a Super Bowl champion. Probably the most unlikely of teams that I've ever rebuilt to actually win a championship. This team is like the most unsuspecting team you would ever think would go and win a Super Bowl. That's Madden simulation for you. It varies so wildly sometimes. You can have the greatest team of all time. You can go 16-1 or 17-0 or whatever it is and lose in the wild card round, or lose in the division round, since you would obviously have the number 1 seed. You can lose in the divisional round. But then you can have a team like ours, which is 70s across the board, 77s, just a middle-of-the-road team that has one good season and takes you all the way to the Super Bowl and wins it. I mean, Madden simulation is kind of crazy. It varies so wildly. But Lamar Jackson gets the Super Bowl MVP. Todd Gurley wins both MVP of the league and Offensive Player of the Year. Telvin Smith is Defensive Player of the Year. J.K. Dobbins is the Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Lions. And then Chase Young gets Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Commanders. So, good on all those boys. Buckeyes winning a bunch of awards. Love to see it. Oh, man. What a rebuild. What a rebuild. Like, look at this team. This team is good. It has potential. But it's not like, by any means, all of my other rebuild teams that I've ever created would destroy this team. But for some reason, just you get a random Madden simulation every once in a while that just takes a team like this and does really well. I mean, you see that all the time, and if you're doing a rebuild, and I've seen it plenty of times on the channel before, where like the 7 seed goes all the way to Super Bowl and wins it. So it can happen, and this is one of those examples. I mean, we went the 7 seed, but the defense is very good. The defense had to have carried us to this Super Bowl. I mean, you saw all those turnovers we forced. This defense definitely showed out. That is for sure. Well, that's going to do it for the rebuild, ladies and gentlemen. One of my most wild rebuilds I've ever done, because it was probably the least expected outcome. I didn't think that we'd win a championship with that team. I thought it'd maybe take another year or two, but we got it done. We rebuilt the 0-16 Cleveland Browns in the 2017-2018 mod. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, leave your team down below. If you want to see me rebuild another team, leave your suggestion in the comments, and I will take that in consideration and possibly do it in a future video. That's going to do it for me, though. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. I said that again because I really want you to do it. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.